Welcome back, Your Majesty.
Thank you.
We've been talking about the high point of your reign as Igwe II of Umueri. And now, could we talk about the low point? What I mean is, what single thing has happened in the last 4 years that made you say, "Oh, what did I get myself into?" They kind of make you regret taking up this assignment. One single thing.
Well, I can tell you that there has been nothing that made me to regret. You can only regret in any position that you are when it is not a position approved by God. God, once is the one who approved your position and placed you in that position. Whatever that happened in that position, you continue to give God the glory. So I can tell you that nothing has happened since I became the Igwe of Umueri that made me to regret why did I put myself in this position. I've continued to enjoy the position. I've continued to give God the glory. I've continued to thank the people of Umueri for being supportive and keeping faith with the traditional institution of Umueri.
Well, that's interesting, and I would say that is kudos to the people of Umueri, that somebody could have been their Igwe for 4 years and no regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets.
No low points.
No low points.
Are you being straight with us, Your Majesty?
Of course. In every community, you have skirmishes here and there. You have one problem, one disagreement. But those disagreements are part of the ingredients that make leadership encouraging and sweet. So they've been coming. I've been facing them, and none has override us. We have been handling them as they come.
Okay.
And we give God the glory.
Okay. One more question on this area before we proceed. Will you say, I'm wondering why you feel that there has been no low point. Is it that you were prepared for it? You were expecting, before getting on the throne, you expected it was going to be tough, and maybe that is why you feel it's been smooth sailing?
Well, ascending to the throne of a community is a leadership position. And remember, I've been in a leadership position for over 40 years now. So in leadership position, you witness good and you witness bad influences. And this is what the traditional institution is all about. Leading a people, you have people that are calm, you have people that are hot, you have people that are claim to be your enemies. But because you are the father of all, you have to live with them, both the ugly, both the good and the bad.
Good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yes.
The good. Yeah. Thank you very much. Now we'll proceed. I was thinking, let's take a theoretical situation. If the clock could be stopped today, and there's going to be a snapshot of your reign as Igwe II of Umueri, if we were to write the history of your reign as at this point, what would you say have been the major issues, the outstanding issues of your reign? What do you think history will mention, whether positively or negatively, say during his reign was when this and this and this happened? These are the points of discussion, the topics prevalent.
Well, peace may not be something that people will value because it is not tangible. But let me tell you, I would like to be remembered, assuming there is a history written during the period of 4 years that I became the Igwe of Umueri. I would like to be remembered.
No, Your Majesty, I'm talking about what you would like to remember. What do you think would be the issues that people will remember?
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yes.
That one of the issues that people will remember is that there has been relative peace during my reign, and there has been development during my reign within these 4 years, and there has been the town has been progressing in every aspect. I usually pray for the people of Umueri. I usually pray for the community. Wherever I am, wherever we gather as a community of saints, we pray for the community. And God has been answering our prayers. In so many communities, you hear about so many deaths of young people, so many deaths of young old people. But here in Umueri, it's not like that. People may not know, but it's a very great achievement, and can be likened to the prayers myself, the people of God that are praying for the community, the crusade that we do offer, the blessing of the land, which people may not know. But these are the intangible things that we've been achieving.
Okay, recently we had so many talk about the Caretaker Committee, UGA elections, and such matter. What are the issues involved here? And why are these things issues? The Caretaker Committee, the UGA election issues, I hear so many talks here and there. What are the issues and why are they issues?
Well, first and foremost, we will have to ask ourselves, where are we and how did we get to where we are now? We had an election some 4 years ago, which brought in a bias of all. We never had any caretaker committee. We will now later have a caretaker committee in this 2020, which brought in Chief Sunday Udalo as the chairman of the caretaker committee. So the question I would like in Umueri to ask ourselves, how did we get there? Why did we not have an election that could elect a president general of the community? We could not do that because we took ourselves to the panel, Anambra State Panel of Inquiry on Umueri. So the question we should ask ourselves, who took Umueri to Anambra State government that set up the panel? What was the reason and who were behind taking Umueri to the government of Anambra State to set up the panel? So of course, it was our people, the people of Umueri, those that know better than me, those that felt that they should have been in this position where I am today. They were the people that took Umueri to the panel. And of course, the panel have to do their work. Incidentally, for more than 1 year now, the panel has been on. Though we stopped attending the panel, they stopped inviting us because we have finished our submissions and all the interactions. I believe we have finished. But for now, they have not submitted their reports. Government has not made any pronouncement. It's expected that government will receive the report and make a pronouncement, which they have not done. So last year, I think around this year, we were supposed to hold an election, and government wrote a letter telling us because we are in a panel that we cannot hold an election until that panel winds up. So that was the reason why we could not hold an election last year. And now we are talking about another election this year, 2022. So the government invited me and invited Chief Pius Okonkwo to Oka for a parley. So the question they asked us is, do we want an election? And we answered, both of us answered in affirmative, that we all need an election in Umueri. That we wanted it a long time ago, but you stopped us. So if you want us to hold the election, now that we're ready to hold the election. So they now mentioned a date.
A moment, Your Majesty. You say this question was put to you and you answered
yes,
that you really want the election?
Yes, I really want.
And Chief Pius
answered the same thing.
That he wants elections
election.
Also.
Yes.
So both of you agreed about this?
Yes, both of us agreed about the election. So but where both of us differ a little bit is on the issue of date of the election. So the government was suggesting 27th of December, and Pius said that 27th is possible. And when they asked me, I said neither myself nor Pius is the person to conduct the election. Rather, it is the Caretaker committee that will conduct the election. So I asked government to invite the Caretaker committee and discuss the issue of date, because neither myself nor Pius will be at the election, will be the person to plan the election, or will even be the one we might not even be there during the voting period. So that is where we stopped, and we gave them the phone number of Chief Sunday Odalo. They have invited him, but I don't know what they have discussed. So whatever they have discussed, government will make it public on when we are going to have the election. But to me, if they say it is tomorrow that the election will be held and Umueri people support this, I am ready. If it is next tomorrow, I am ready. If it is 27th, I am ready. Because I also want an elected government in Umueri so that we can move forward. But one thing I want to tell you, which I have told Umueri severally, some people are thinking that I have a candidate, and if my candidate does not win, heaven will fall. No, I told them that anybody, if you like, elect my enemy, that I am going to work with the person, because there is division of labor. My work is different from the work of the President General. But for peace and development to be in Umueri, both of us are supposed to work together so that peace and development will come. But if we elect a PG that wants to work alone, that does not want to work with Igwe, I will work my own. I will be working on my own, and he will be working on his own. My own tenure is until I die. His own tenure is 4 years. Maximum 4 years, he will drop. Another person will come in. So the issue of the people of Umueri feeling that I have a candidate, if my candidate does not win, something will happen. Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. If you like, elect my enemy. If you like, elect my friend. Anybody you elect as the President General have no option than to work with me. If he doesn't want to work with me, so be it. He will be working, and I will be working on my own. At the end of the day, we will meet together. We will meet together somewhere, somehow. Because sometimes they will send a letter, government will send a letter through the Igwe. Sometimes they send letter through the President General. So if they send through me, I will contact him. So there's no way he can avoid me. Igwe is like an institution that is standing. He's at the apex of the leadership of Umueri. So there's no way you can be subordinate and yet you don't want to work with your boss. I am the boss, and they will work with me. Whoever that is elected must surely work with me. If he doesn't work with me, I'm not going to flog him. Then for the peace and development of Umueri, any elected President General or executive ought to work with me.
Thank you very much, Your Majesty. And now, considering now in discussing these things, I want you to assume, of course, it's not even an assumption as it concerns me, because I'm not very knowledgeable about the community, and there are how will I say, sections of the people who are not in the know. They don't have available to them the information as to what is happening. So to these people who might not understand the issues, don't have information, I want you to speak to us. What have been the factors militating against these elections up to this time?
It is what I have explained. The panel was one of the factors. The government said we are in the panel, and the panel has not winded up. They have not finished their work. And even when they finish their work, they have not submitted their work for government to make a pronouncement. That was their reason. And the another reason is that there was a time government placed ban on any election in Anambra State. But recently, they lifted the ban.
Okay, there was a time when there was an embargo on elections.
Oh, sure. And everybody knows that, because government does not say something with their verbal mouth.
So even without the panel issue, elections couldn't have gone on because of the embargo.
Elections in other area, Umueri own is a peculiar area. It's a peculiar case.
Yes.
But that time they placed embargo. That time it affected every election.
When was that? What period was that?
That was during the COVID.
During the COVID. So that was part of the fallout of the COVID
yes,
problem.
It was part of the COVID, around March.
Okay.
But recently, they lifted the ban.
Yes.
And I know the caretaker also wrote to the government, asking them that now that the ban has been lifted, that Umueri is desirous of holding an election.
You mean the Umueri Caretaker Committee?
Oh, sure.
Actually approached
the
state government?
They didn't just approach verbally. They wrote.
They wrote?
Oh, yes. To the government, asking them for a date to conduct election. So I'm not a spokesman for the UGA. So when you ask the UGA, they will tell you what the response of government was to them. But the issue, or one of the things that is that I want our people to know concerning the election, is that the election is not what Umueri can wake up one day and say we are holding an election on so and so date. There has to be government involvement. Government must be involved. Government must approve of it. Government must send their representative to monitor the election. So these are the things that I want our people to know. It's not just for them to say, because so many people are speaking out of ignorance. So many people will be somewhere saying all sorts of things. Election must be held this date, must be held. Are you the government? Have you contacted government? Have you gotten approval from government? Because if they are not there and you hold any election, it will become null and void. It will not be recognized. That executive will not be recognized. So I want our people to know that there is a process. There's a process, and that process, the people that qualified or responsible to undergo that process or to pass through that process is the Umueri Caretaker Committee under the leadership of Chief Sunday Udalo. So if our people are writing, sometimes when I look at what they're saying in the WhatsApp, I laugh. Why I'm laughing is because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're saying. This process must be followed before we can have an election.
But Your Majesty, you have said that the state government has themselves expressed their willingness to have the elections now, which means that they are not likely to be a cog in the wheel, so to say. They are not likely to be a problem. No, if they are suggesting 27th, they are suggesting 27th of December, it means that they will be willing to fast track to remove anything that will be a hindrance, would they not?
I don't have problem with that, but like I told you, what I told them is that it's not neither me nor Pius Okonkwo, that will conduct the election, that they should contact the Caretaker committee, which they placed on Umueri. So legally, government, Anambra State government, put on us. So let them contact them. Issue of dates depends on them, both of them to accept. If they accept 27, so be it. If they accept tomorrow, so be it. I don't have a problem. I've told you that whoever becomes the president must work with me. If he doesn't want to work with me, no problem. He will be going left, I will be following right. So no problem.
Well, I'm relieved to hear that is your position.
Oh, sure.
Your Majesty,
Sure.
were you in the Boy Scouts or anything?
I wasn't in the Boy Scouts, but I was in the choir. I was in the youth. So I was in these organizations, these uniformed organizations in the church.
Okay, I had a reason for mentioning the Boy Scouts.
Yes.
The Boy Scouts have something they say Scouts honor. When I want to say something, say I stand on my Scouts honor, because a Scout will not go contrary to his words. So if you were a Scout, I was going to say, are you telling me Scouts honor? When they say that, they lift up their hands and they Scouts honor, that is your position, what you are saying now?
Well,
about the elections?
Well, I've never been a Scout member, but if what you are referring to is this election of Umueri, that is my
Scout's honor.
That's my Scout's honor.
That's your word.
That's my position. That's my word.
Yes.
Whatever I said to you here is from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, praise God.
That's my mind.
Praise God. That being the case, I think we can forget bygones, right? Okay. And move forward. The government has shown willingness to have the elections.
Yes.
You are willing to have the elections.
Sure.
You said they've invited the Caretaker committee and they have met. We
number.
Don't know what they have agreed.
Yes.
So government, the problem now is with government and the Caretaker committee to agree on a date.
That is it.
On a date. So you are properly neutral as far as you're concerned. But do you think, Your Majesty, that being neutral is enough? What can you do positively to move this program forward, to ensure that these elections take place?
Well, there is absolutely nothing that I can do. When the government, until the government gives a date, until the government and the Caretaker agrees on a date that the election will be held, then every other internal arrangement, which is solely the responsibility of the Caretaker committee. But if they sought my opinion, if they sought my assistance during the election, I can give them some guide. But that guide will be only advisor. It's not, they are not bound to take yes, because advice. I told you, I've been issued that there's a division of labor between the town union government and the traditional institution.
Praise God. So if these elections were to hold, say, that 27 that has been suggested, who will be your candidate, Your Majesty?
You will be my candidate. You will be my candidate.
Well.
You have bought your form. Go and purchase your form because I would like you to be my candidate.
Well, that's a lot of confidence. I'm a pastor. I'm not a politician.
That is good.
I'm not. So if you are looking at me as your candidate, it means then you don't have a candidate. Are we then safe to say you don't have a candidate?
Well, like I told
because I'm not a candidate. I'm not a good material.
I told you, first of all, the candidate must come from Nei, and you are from Umueri.
So that disqualifies me. Oh, and I was really hoping
to be. If you remain pastor that you are.
We cannot do a coup.
No, there cannot be a coup. It must come from Nei.
From Nei.
Which is Umueri.
Okay.
However.
But Your Majesty, my in-laws, my sister is married to Nei. That should qualify me now as
no.
Nei in-law.
That does not make you a Nei person. You are only a Nei with in-law to Nei people. If you tell this one to Nei people, they will tell you to go and pack yourself one side.
Where I belong.
Yes, where you belong. Yes. Having said that, the issue of whether I have candidates or not, well, I don't have any candidate. But when the issue of election comes up and the candidates emerge, I will look at the candidates that emerged, and I must have a soft spot or sympathy for one of them. And that person that I have soft spot or sympathy for, if I am to cast my vote, that's the person I'll go and cast my single vote.
Naturally, you are an indigenous of Umueri,
Oh,
so
sure.
you are qualified to.
Oh, sure. I'm supposed to vote.
Yes.
But I may decide not to vote so that nobody will say I voted for Mr. A or Mr. B. I might decide not to vote, and I might decide to vote. I have the constitutional right to go and vote.
Okay.
Yes.
So all in all, how do you see these developments about this UGA elections, Caretaker Committee, and moving forward in the light of your reign? How is it likely to impact?
Well, once we have elected government, things will begin to move, because the past UGA never handed over to this Caretaker Committee, as against the Constitution of Umueri, which says that every 27th of the year, the government that is winding up will hand over to a new government. But because this one is a caretaker, Pius Okonkwo and his executive decided not to hand over. The Constitution didn't tell them not to hand over. But they decided not to hand over, and nothing is being done about that. So once they are, and when they were contacted, they said because these people are not elected, that they can only hand over to elected government. So election is imperative. Election is important. Election election of a new executive will help to move the community forward. Because if that is done, the former government will hand over both funds, both documents that were with them to the new government, and Umueri will start moving forward. Caretaker Committee will cease to exist, and that will be good for Umueri.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let me just have a second or two. Let me just bring this in before we close. It is the end of the year. It is time for your Ofala again. How is it going to be this year, or you're going to have it definitely?
No, my Ofala is every year. It's annual program.
Yes.
So it's coming up this year on the 29th. And the committee, a lot of committee and subcommittees have been set up. They are planning the Ofala. Because of COVID, it may not be loud, may not be elaborate, but the most important thing is that Umueri must celebrate Ofala. It is a constitutional issue binding on me to celebrate Ofala every year. Though Umueri does not contribute single kobo to it as a community, but yet they put it in their constitution that the Igwe must celebrate Ofala every year. So during the year, nobody asks Igwe, how are you planning? How much do I contribute? What do I? Some communities buy things for their Igwe. Some communities contribute huge amount of money to enable their Igwe celebrate the Ofala. But because God enabled me, I do not complain. I've been doing it. 29th of this year again, we shall celebrate it here in the palace. The following Sunday, we will go for Thanksgiving. All the Umueri people will go for Thanksgiving at Emmanuel Anglican Church.
And before that, there's the issue of your birthday coming up. Are you not inviting me?
Well, the issue of my birthday, which is every 13th December, I'm not a kind of person that likes celebrating birthdays every year, but I'm a kind of person that likes to celebrate my birthday every decade.
Okay.
So I'm looking at my 70th birthday,
Okay.
which is very far from me. I don't know whether I will be alive to witness 70 and whether he will be alive to witness
Yes.
70. But if God keep us alive, I will celebrate that elaborately.
Okay.
However, I'll mark it by I always mark it. Sometimes people throw a surprise party for me. Yes. I don't know about this year. Last year they did it. My friends and my family collaborated and did it. I don't know about this year, but I'm not a fan of celebrating birthday every year.
And now you have two celebrations coming up, no matter how you feel about it, the Ofala and then the birthday. If the people of Umueri could give you a present for the birthday present or an Ofala present, what would you like it to be? What would you, if wishes were horses, you could have anything, and Umueri had limitless resources, what would you want?
First of all, Umueri should, I would like them to come together as a community. It's only when they come
as a birthday present?
No. I'm saying that Umueri people,
yes,
as a community,
yes,
should come together as one body, as one community that love themselves before they can think of what they will give to their Igwe. Now, there are segments of people here and there in the name of whatever name they call it, whether they call it equal or whatever, I don't know. So let them come together first.
So you are saying that if they can come together, that would be a gift for you.
Of course.
That if the people of Umueri can come together as one,
and become one,
forget about their differences and everything,
yes,
and be one people.
That's enough a gift for
that
me.
You regard that as a very
gift.
Good gift.
That's a Ofala gift.
The greatest Ofala gift.
Yes, for me.
Well, the people of Umueri have heard that from your Igwe. Are you going to give him that gift for this Ofala, or what's it going to be? I think the ball is in the court of the people of Umueri. Thank you so much, Your Majesty. As always, it has been so nice and interesting talking with you. I hope you will give us that pleasure again sometime soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Do you have any last word for the people of